Some people find that when playing games it can be difficult to keep a button held down. It can be beneficial to either latch a button down or be able to toggle it on and off so that you don't have to keep it held down for too long. Some games allow you to toggle buttons on and off using the in-game settings. However, if you're playing a game that doesn't have this option, then there can be other ways to do this. It is worth looking at a game's options or settings to see if there are any toggle options. It may not be called toggle in each game, however. We will now have a look at a few games that allow you to use these options. One game that allows you certain options that you can toggle on and off is Modern Warfare. You can hold down left trigger to aim down sights in this game, or L2, but if you find that holding this button down is difficult, then you can have it set to toggle. This means that you would just tap L2 or left trigger to aim down sights and tap it again when you want to stop. So if I tap the button once, I'll aim down sights, and if I tap again, I'll stop. Another thing that you can toggle in this game is cooking grenades. So you can hold down either R1 or right bumper to start cooking a grenade, and then you let go to throw it. Or you can have it set to toggle, so if you tap the button once, then you start cooking the grenade, and then when you're ready, you tap it again to throw. Another game that has a latching option is Mario Kart 8 on Nintendo Switch. This allows you to turn on Auto Accelerate, which is essentially just holding the accelerate button down for you for the entire race. So if holding this button down becomes difficult, this can be a nice way to play. So as standard, to accelerate in Mario Kart, you could hold down the A button. But if holding this down over a period of time becomes difficult, you can just go into the menus. If we press R, we've now turned Auto Accelerate on. If I say continue, and now the game will do the accelerating for you. Sea of Thieves is a game that has several accessibility options, including several things that you can toggle on and off. We'll have a quick look at radial menus. Generally with these you would hold the button down to get the menu up, and then keep it held down whilst you cycle through to select what you'd like. But there is the option to be able to just tap the button to get the menu up, select what you'd like, and then tap it again to close the menu. Another example of being able to toggle controls in Sea of Thieves is reduce hold to use item. So here, to hold up the lantern, I have to hold down left trigger. And when I let go, lower the lantern. If I now go into the settings, I can reduce hold to use item. Now when I tap left trigger, it holds the lantern up, and I can tap it again to lower it. A similar option in Sea of Thieves is reduce hold to interact. This means that with interacting with items such as loading the cannon or lowering the anchor, generally you would have to hold the button down throughout the entire animation, but by putting this on, you can just tap the button once and the action will be carried out. We will now have a look at other ways that you can toggle if you are playing a game that doesn't have these options. There are a couple of different latching boxes available that you can use to set toggle options using accessibility switches, and we will have a quick look at these first. You can also use toggle options with a standard controller by using a Titan 2 adapter, and we'll have a look at this a bit later in the video. This is the latch box available from one switch. It allows you to set an accessibility switch to act as toggle. So you can plug this into the Xbox Adaptive Controller or several other different switch interfaces. It can be powered by either AA batteries, or if you're using an Xbox Adaptive Controller, then you can plug this into one of the USB slots on the side of the controller, and this will get charged by that. So in Red Dead Redemption 2, there isn't the option to toggle aim down sights. So in order to aim down sights, I have to hold left trigger down, and then when I let go to stop. But by using the latch box, I've set this up to act as left trigger. So if I press this button once, I can now aim down sights. And when I want to stop, I just press the button again. Another type of game that can work well with latching is racing games. So for example, if holding down the accelerator for a long period of time is difficult, you can have it latched so that the game will accelerate by you just pressing the button once. By having the accelerator latched on, this does mean that the car will accelerate up to its maximum speed, which can make it quite difficult to control. So you'll probably find that using a latching box will work best with racing games that have accessibility options to help with braking and steering, such as Forza Motorsport 7. So here I've latched accelerate using the green buddy button, and I've also switched on the super easy assisted controls. So all I have to do now is tap the green button and the game will drive the car. And if I wanted to stop the car, I could just tap the button again. And the car will gradually slow down. So if I just use the brakes now to bring the car to a stop. So the other thing I could do if I wanted to have a bit more control by just using the joystick, then I could go into the assists, go to steering and just change that to assisted. So all of the other super easy mode options are still on. So if I now tap the green button, the car will accelerate and I've now got more control by using the joystick to steer. Another option that some latching boxes provide is to be able to have timed latching. This means that you can have the button set to be pressed for a specific period of time. One latching box that allows you to do this is the AbleNet dual switch latch and timer. This takes 9-volt batteries and can work with most switch interfaces, and today we're using it with an Xbox adaptive controller. To get this setup working on PlayStation 4, we're also using a Titan 2 adapter. You can set the timer to be anything from 1 to 60 seconds or 1 to 60 minutes. So here I'm going to set it to 1 second. This could be useful in games where you need to hold a button down for a short period of time, for example to pick up an item or to close a door. Another example of where this could be useful is in a first-person shooter such as Call of Duty Modern Warfare. A lot of people would try and feather the trigger to try and shoot in bursts. And if this is difficult, then you could potentially map it so that the gun will only shoot for 1 second at a time, which could be helpful with an automatic weapon if you find that sometimes you hold the button down for too long. If you don't need to use accessibility switches as part of your gaming setup, then you might want to consider having toggle options on a standard controller, and you can do this using a Titan 2 adapter. Using a Titan 2 adapter, you can create a profile that will enable you to toggle on and off any button on a standard controller. Red Dead Redemption 2 uses radial menus similar to Sea of Thieves, and you have to hold the left bumper down or L1 down to be able to open up the menu. If this is difficult, then you can use the Titan 2 to create a profile, so all you would need to do is tap L1 or LB to open up the menu. I could then use right stick to cycle around and just tap the button again to swap to that item. Thank you for watching this video, and if there's anything that we can do to help, then please do get in touch.